Great to see you all today, and obviously it's great to see so many of the CEOs of our member companies. Our network continues to grow, and it's great to see that happening. And I want to particularly welcome this morning the CEOs of the most recent companies that have joined our organization since we last gathered last year. As you know, I only took over this January, and one of the first things I did is I spent quite a lot of time meeting you and talking and discussing what are your key concerns and your key challenges, but also looking at what you see are some of the opportunities. And it seems we're talking about two different worlds out there. On the one hand, we discuss some of the challenges you face in terms of the transformation of your workforce, being fit for that future of the workplace. Looking at climate change and Miles Morning today and forest fires in California, all of that is very much about climate change, and we'll be talking quite a lot about that this morning. You talked to me about trust and reputation, about the war on talent and what that means for you and your organizations. But you also spoke to me about great opportunities and how your businesses are continuing to grow, about how more and more R&D of your global organizations is now happening here in Ireland, about how the way your company is managed in Ireland is a model that we're exporting outside. It was exciting to hear Tara McCarthy from Orbia talking on the radio about Irish oysters from Killary Harbour being shipped to Hong Kong supermarkets. So clearly there's great opportunities out there, but we seem to be disconnected in terms of what is the long-term journey ahead, and you know very well what the challenges are and the immediate challenges you're facing and the immediate great growth that you're seeing in your organizations. So you won't be surprised as you're in a sustainability forum if I tell you that sustainability is the answer to all of those challenges, and that's what we fundamentally believe in business in the community, and that's what I'll be talking to you about later this morning and during the two great panel conversations we have. So why are we here this morning? This morning we're here to talk about the CEO as an activist. And I'm sure the first thing that goes to your head is a big placard and a demonstration, a picket outside a factory. And well, maybe that might be the case, but maybe there are more exciting, impactful and sophisticated ways of doing activism these days. Edelman and their global survey over 28 countries tell us that 84% of those surveyed expect CEOs to inform conversations and policy debates on pressing societal issues. I'm sure you all heard about the annual letter that the CEO of BlackRock, that small entity that only manages $6 trillion of investment, sends to the companies they invest. And you probably remember Larry Fink saying, prove to us that you are providing a societal benefit or risk losing our investment. So why activism? It could well be that it's about doing the right thing because it's something that comes from the bottom of your heart, and that's what we'll be asking some of the CEOs that are here with us this morning in our two panels, or whether it is that it's about your brand and your reputation and how you want to grow as a business. There's a lot of great activism going on out there. So we can go as far as the United States and look at the campaign We're Still In, which was all about how we can be better prepared to respond to the climate change debate and saying we're still part of this conversation on climate change. Or if you look at the whole issue around race and violence in the US, and you probably saw the very controversial Nike advertisement with Colin Kaepernick, or even closer to home on biodiversity, and you probably heard about this advertisement by Iceland, which was all about the orangutan that had to be taken out. So interesting that that's something that is challenging us. Or even closer to home, if you look at Northern Ireland and the positioning that a group of leading companies took on the issue of marriage equality, which was about saying we're having a great challenge in terms of recruiting and retaining talent here in Northern Ireland, and we want to press for marriage equality. So clearly there's a lot going on there, and my question is, activism clearly is more than in the picket line, and let's see how's that evolving here in Ireland. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. But obviously activism needs collaboration, and we need to work together. And that's the second fundamental element. First one, sustainability. sustainable business models. Second one, collaboration. 3 years ago, we set up this leadership group called Leaders Group on Sustainability, and that's where we started working about some of these pressing challenges that your businesses are facing and how we can make a significant impact around them. I won't tell you more about it. There's a very interesting video telling you the story of this group. We're doing this leaders group on sustainability, and it's a fabulous agenda. Is there anything that you would say really defines this working group, and what's unique about it? Alistair?
What makes the group unique, I think, is the group of companies that are involved. Obviously, that stands out a mile in terms of the breadth of industries covered, parts of the marketplace. Secondly, unbelievable kind of dedication and focus from the people involved in the working groups and at the leaders level. And a real willingness to share. People talk about collaboration, another well-worn term, but people really willing to share, provide input, but think about what they get back from the discussion. And I think that gives us a unique basis for trying to solve some of the more complex problems when people are willing to leave their company badge at the door, come into the room and discuss, and both provide and take something really valuable from it. So I think that's the unique aspect.
And I think that's pretty essential. Ken, what's your motivation for looking into this whole sustainable leaders group?
For me, really, I believe that business can't exist in isolation, and it must recognise that it's part of society at large. We're all part of quite significant organisations, and we do have the power to unleash what we have to make society a better place and give opportunities to people.
Mark, what's driving you to transition to the low carbon economy?
I think a couple of things. The science behind climate change now is undeniable. I think the case is proven. I'm a grandfather. I have a 1-year-old grandson. I think there's an enormous obligation on my generation. We carry that responsibility, I strongly believe, for the next generation.
Mark, obviously in the case of EirGrid, alongside with Dennis O'Sullivan in Gas Networks Ireland, you're leading a strong message around the need to move towards a low carbon economy. What's the key aim there?
Well, firstly, I think the transition to a low carbon economy is going to be the biggest change at a societal and a business level. Organisations like this are bringing together very, very reputable voices of business to stand up, to give leadership, to show what can be done.
So evidently it's all about, as I was saying, sustainability, collaboration, and the third word you'll hear from me today is rigor. So you're probably wondering, why am I not in that group of 26 logos? 10 years ago, we set up a standard for sustainability and corporate responsibility. It's called Business Working Responsibly. There are 29 companies certified to it. Today, we're going to be announcing 7 companies that have recertified for the second, third, and fourth time to the standard, plus 4 other companies that are certified for the first time ever in 2018. They're the ones that are making up our leadership group, and I'm delighted to share with you that the Minister for Communications, Climate Action and Environment, Richard Bruton, will be joining us in a few moments just to present the Business Working Responsibly mark certificates to the companies that have achieved such great achievement. So it's time for me to let the stage for those who have more important things to say and start the real conversation about CEOs, about activism. I'd like to maybe finish by thanking you for being here. I know there's probably 101 events or other places where you could be, but I want to particularly commend your leadership. You're driving amazing companies, and you are the great source of inspiration for many people. In Business in the Community, we have a great inspiration, and that's our board. And I am truly honored to be working with such amazing group of leaders, and they give all of us in Business in the Community a great inspiration. So now, Maura, over to you, and thank you very much.